The story of Prophet Yunus A.S. begins in a land filled with people who had drifted far from the truth. They lived in comfort, surrounded by the blessings of Allah, yet their hearts were disconnected. Idolatry had become normal, wrongdoing had become accepted, and the call toward righteousness was no longer taken seriously. Into this environment, Allah sent Yunus A.S. as a guide, a prophet whose mission was to bring his people back to the worship of one true God, to remind them of accountability, and to warn them of the consequences of their actions. Yunus A.S. was sincere in his mission. He did not approach his people with harshness, but with concern. Day after day, he called them with patience, urging them to leave their false practices and return to Allah. He spoke of mercy, of forgiveness, of the chance they still had to change. But his people were stubborn. They mocked him, ridiculed his message, and refused to listen. The more he called them, the more they resisted. Their hearts had become hard, and their pride prevented them from accepting the truth. Time passed, and the burden of rejection grew heavier. Yunus A.S. felt deep sorrow, not for himself, but for his people. He knew what awaited them if they continued on this path. He saw their destruction approaching, yet they remained blind to it. In this emotional state, he reached a breaking point. Believing that his message had been fully delivered and that punishment was inevitable, he made a decision. He left his people without waiting for Allah's command. This moment is important. It shows that even a prophet, under emotional pressure, can make a decision that requires correction. Yunus did not leave out of rebellion, but out of frustration and grief. Yet, in the mission of prophethood, even such a step required Allah's permission. He left the land and made his way toward the sea. There, he boarded a ship filled with travelers. At first, the journey seemed calm. The sea was quiet, the sky clear, and everything appeared normal. But suddenly, the atmosphere changed. Dark clouds gathered, strong winds began to blow, and the calm ocean turned into a raging force. Waves rose high, crashing against the ship, threatening to destroy it. The people on board became terrified. They realized that this was no ordinary storm. In such situations, it was customary to reduce the weight of the ship by sacrificing one person. They decided to draw lots. When the result came, it fell upon Yunus A.S. They hesitated. He did not seem like someone deserving of such a fate. They drew again, hoping for a different name. But once again, it was Yunus A.S. A third time they tried, and again his name appeared. Yunus understood. This was no coincidence. This was divine decree. Without argument, without hesitation, he stepped forward and cast himself into the violent sea. The cold water surrounded him instantly. The waves closed over him, and in that moment, Allah commanded an azim creature of the ocean, a whale, to swallow him. Yunus was taken into its belly, entering a state unlike any human had ever experienced. Inside, there was complete darkness, not just one layer, but three: the darkness of the night above, the darkness of the deep ocean around, and the darkness within the whale itself. There was no sound except the distant movement of water, no light, no sense of time. It was a place where all worldly means had ended. And in that moment, Yunus turned completely to Allah. He realized his mistake, not as a failure, but as a moment that required humility and return. He did not panic. He did not despair. Instead, he made one of the most powerful supplications ever recorded. "There is no deity except you. Glory be to you. Indeed, I was among the wrongdoers." This dua was not long, but it carried everything. recognition of Allah's perfection and acknowledgement of his own mistake. It was pure, sincere, and al-kamil in submission. For what is often described in narrations as many days, Yunus remained in that state, alone, yet not alone, because Allah was with him. Every moment he repeated his remembrance, his qalb filled with humility. In that darkness he found a light stronger than the sun, the light of connection with Allah. Allah, who hears even what is unspoken, accepted his repentance. He commanded the whale to release him. Rising to the surface, the creature cast Yunus onto the shore. His body was weak, his strength gone, his skin affected by his time inside the whale. He lay there, vulnerable, unable to move. But Allah's mercy continued. A plant grew over him, providing shade and protection. It nourished him, allowing his body to recover. Slowly, strength returned to him. This moment is powerful. It shows that Allah does not only save, He also heals. Meanwhile, something extraordinary was happening back in the land Yunus had left. His people, seeing signs of impending punishment, finally realized their mistake. Fear entered their hearts, but more importantly, sincerity. They turned to Allah in true repentance. Unlike many nations before them, they did not wait for destruction. They changed before it arrived. And Allah, in His mercy, accepted them. When Yunus returned, he did not find the same people he had left. He found a community transformed, believing, humble, and obedient. His mission, which seemed once unsuccessful, had been completed in a way far beyond expectation. The story of Yunus A.S. is not just about being swallowed by a whale. It is about something much deeper. It is about what happens when a person reaches the lowest point, when all doors close, when darkness surrounds, when it seems there is no way out. And the answer is simple: turn to Allah. His story teaches that no matter where you are in your darkness, whether it is sin, stress, regret, or hardship, there is always a way back. One sincere dua can open doors that seem impossible. It also teaches that mistakes do not define you. Your response to them does. Yunus did not remain in error. He returned immediately, and Allah elevated him. And perhaps the most powerful lesson: Allah's mercy is greater than anything, greater than mistakes, greater than fear, greater than darkness. The same Allah who heard Yunus in the depths of the ocean, the same Allah who commanded the whale, the same Allah who brought him back, healed him, and completed his mission, is the same Allah who listens to you today. No matter where you are, no matter how lost you feel, no matter how heavy your situation is, all it takes is one sincere return.
The message of Prophet Yunus A.S. goes even deeper when you truly reflect on it, not just as a story, but as a mirror of your own life. Yunus A.S. teaches that sometimes the real prison is not the darkness around you, but the distance between you and Allah. The whale, the ocean, the night, these were not what trapped him the most. What mattered was the moment he turned back to Allah. And the second he did, even before he was physically saved, he was already spiritually free. This means freedom begins the moment your heart reconnects with Allah, even if your situation hasn't changed yet. Another powerful truth is this: Allah can turn your lowest moment into your greatest elevation. The place that looked like an end, the belly of the whale, became the beginning of a deeper faith, a stronger connection, and a higher status. This shows that what you see as a disaster might actually be a hidden mercy. Sometimes Allah takes you into darkness so you can discover a light you would never have found in comfort. His story also breaks a common illusion that you must be perfect to be close to Allah. Yunus A.S. reminds us that closeness to Allah is not about never falling, it's about always returning. The difference between someone who rises and someone who stays lost is not perfection, but repentance. The door of Allah is never closed, no matter how far you feel. And then there is the lesson of timing. Yunus A.S. was not saved instantly the moment he entered the whale. There was a period of waiting, of reflection, of sincere turning. This teaches that Allah's response is always perfect in timing. Sometimes He delays not to ignore you, but to prepare you, to purify your heart, to strengthen your faith, to make your return more meaningful. So if you are still waiting, it does not mean you are forgotten. It means something is being prepared for you. His story also reminds you of something very personal. You have your own whale moments in life, moments where you feel stuck, overwhelmed, surrounded by problems, unable to see a way out. In those moments, you have two choices: panic or turn to Allah. Yunus chose Allah, and that choice changed everything. And here is the most powerful realization. The dua of Yunus A.S. was made in the darkest place on earth, yet it reached the highest place beyond the heavens. This means your voice, no matter how weak you feel, your words, no matter how broken they are, your heart, no matter how heavy it is, can always reach Allah. So the final message becomes even stronger. Don't wait for your situation to improve before turning to Allah. Turn to Him and watch your situation transform. Don't let guilt stop you. Don't let fear silence you. Don't let delay weaken you. Because the same Allah who responded to Yunus A.S., the same Allah who brought him out of darkness to light, is closer to you than you think. And when your moment comes, when your whale finally releases you, you will look back and realize that the very thing you feared the most was the thing that brought you closest to Allah.